Like any other VGC player, I was super excited to play with all the new toys added in Regulation F and the Indigo Disc DLC. I played around with all sorts of new and returning Trick Room ideas, from Porygon 2 to Archaludon to Metagross. Since building new ideas from scratch wasn't working as well as I had hoped, and I wanted a team that was still worth running, I decided to re-evaluate my last serious Reg E team and update it for Reg F. Like any other Psyspam enthusiast, I was excited for Hatterene to be getting Expanding Force back, but every time I tried to use her, it felt relatively clunky, and the lack of a hard-hitting single-target stab in Moonblast really hurts Hatterene as a Fairy Sweeper for Trick Room. Gone are the Sword and Shield days of just safely spamming Expanding Force without a care in the world. Disappointed in Hat's performance, I returned to Armarouge with a new toy. I had thought about the idea of running Meteor Beam on Armarouge when the DLC first dropped, but dismissed it as gimmicky until I saw Len BGC tweet about the same idea. I'm glad that he did, because this set has been incredible so far. This set for Armarouge nearly single-handedly carried me through 2 online tournaments, a 6th place finish in the 190-player Floor Tour, and 4th place in the inaugural Flourishing's Fright Night. Since originally recording and finishing parts of the script, I had also came 3rd place in the Gertie's Gaming Thursday the same week. Just about everyone in the VGC community I've seen has either celebrated or lamented the death of Armarouge a lot in conversation, but I haven't found it to be threatening in any team I've tried or faced yet. The Gen 9 Classic of Indeedee and Armarouge continue to strut their stuff after 5 format changes. This Armarouge set is actually the most drastic change to the team between the 2 formats. While King Gambit replacing Ursaluna may seem like the bigger change, that's just the natural evolution of how this team wants to play in a new environment. Armarouge, however, is set up in a way that I've never used Armarouge prior, and it's been incredible. In comparison to the traditional Reg A to Reg E Armarouge sets, this build offers the least defensive utility, as does no Wide Guard, Protect, or Endure. What we gain instead is one of the best coverage and setup moves Armarouge needed the most. Anybody who played or watched VGC in Gen 8 will be familiar with Power Herb Meteor Beam being a common setup strat for mons such as Neil Ego and Lunala. Replacing Life Orb as our source of damage increase, the +1 special attack boost from Meteor Beam gives us an extra 20% to the boost, as Life Orb is +30% and a single stat gauge is +50%. In addition to the increased damage, using Power Herbs to set up makes us take way less damage from knockoff, to the point that we can survive one from Incineroar with our high natural bulk. But the best thing about Power Herb Meteor Beam is that I get rid of the many moments where Armarouge will tank a hit at 10% HP or less, and just die to its own Life Cord recoil anyway. These crucial survival turns now let you potentially turn the entire tide of the game, rather than just getting one extra attack in. Last but not least, Meteor Beam answers just about any of the threats that wall Armarouge. Heatran needs significant bulk investment to have no chance of getting one shot by a Helping Hand Meteor Beam, or it needs an Assault Vest, and almost all of the non-neutral fire types like Incineroar and Chiyu just get melted by it. After the boost, we are significantly more likely to take out Pokemon that used to just barely survive Expanding Force, such as Post-Terra Amoonguss, Assault Vest Iron Hands, or low bulk Flutter Mains. Armarouge also has a different speed setup this time around. In order to get the most devastating turn 1s, I've speed crept my Armarouge to be 1 point faster than the average Incineroar sets, which are usually about 81 to 84 speed. With full IVs and a quiet nature, Armarouge sits comfortably at 85 speed. This allows for many blowout turns where my opponent expects to be able to knock off the known Power Herb before Trick Room goes up. In reality, I can usually safely click Trick Room on Indeedee or Gallade, while Armarouge dispatches Incineroar and gets on with its day. Indeedee is just such a quintessential support Pokemon that it's hard not to use it on Trick Room, even if Psyspam isn't the priority of the team. While little has changed about her set, I have her sitting at 12 speed IVs in order to be at 86 speed with a speed lowering nature at level 50. This is in order to be 1 speed point higher than Armarouge to get the most damage out of the turns we're using Dazzling Gleam under Trick Room. In a format currently dominated by Walking Wake, Raging Bolt, and Landorus Incarnate, I find it very difficult to justify running any item that's not Psychic Seed on Indeedee. I still occasionally have situations where Rocky Helmet would have been better, but being able to eat a knockoff without blowing Terra has been very handy in an early Incineroar format. Gallade is identical to the set Brian Collins ran in Sacramento. In order to better support this new version of Armarouge, I've opted to undo the changes I made for Toronto of Water Terra plus Aqua Cutter on Gallade, to instead run exactly what Brian had on his, the more classic of the sets. Gallade's presence on hard Trick Room Psyspam variants is uncommon, but one that I'm a huge fan of, especially going into Regulation F. While Psychic Terrain is active, Psycho Cut boosted by Sharpness hits a base power of 136. This allows us to easily handle the special tanks that Armarouge can otherwise struggle with, such as Flutter Mane or Assault Vest Iron Hands. Sacred Sword is an incredible move with hardly any distribution, and Gallade getting stab on it is incredible. Sacred Sword ignores this target's stat changes, so Stamina Archaludon or Minimize Muck can be dispatched by it without any issue. Wide Guard is necessary on the team, and we can no longer fit it on Armarouge, so we opt to keep it here on Gallade, and Fire Terra lets us not get blown out by Dazzling Gleams when we don't click Wide Guard. One uncommon lead that opponents don't usually play around is Armarouge plus Gallade. Into say Tornadus and Urshifu, Wide Guard on Gallade plus Terra Grass and Armarouge makes your opponent pretty much entirely unable to do anything. The Tornadus would likely taunt in this scenario, if it has taunt, but you can easily do Wide Guard plus Meteor Beam to nuke Tornadus from the sky. Torkoal is your most common Trick Room sweeper that needs little explanation. Packing a ridiculously hard-hitting Eruption by also providing its own Sun boost under Trick Room, Torkoal is a menace to any opponents that don't resist fire or have an Assault Vest. In Reg E, I initially cut Helping Hand for Fissure, as Protect is something I find useless on this move slot, but the logic behind Fissure was that in situations where you have no options, you can click it and pray. So if you're going to lose anyway, at least you have a 30% chance of an out. However, during the floor tour, I often had Torkoal sitting next to something else that was just barely unable to nab the KO. So having Helping Hand there for Ogerpon and King Gambit gives us far more reach to close games without being reliant on Trick Room. Ogerpon fills the niche of being a fast support taunter, a role not commonly used on Trick Room until Gen 9 gave us a plethora of new options. Cornerstone Ogerpon fills this role best in my opinion, as it is a fast taunter without relying on Scarf or Prankster, but also has the incredibly rare support move Follow Me. Ogerpon is the only natural grass type to learn Follow Me, so it benefits from a built-in immunity to Spore and Rage Powder, plus having Sturdy. It essentially functions as a mousehold that gets to hold both Safety Goggles and Focus Sash, while also getting to steal the occasional fast KO, like Scarf Shifu. King Gambit replaces Ursaluna as our base 50 speed sweeper because the needs for the slot have changed. With Incineroar running rampant, it's important to have a strong Defiant or competitive Pokemon on most teams to make it harder for your opponent to send out Tony the Tiger without punishment. Snarl, Electro Web, and Icy Wind all remain prevalent, and it's not all that difficult to force large boosts into King Gambit by taking advantage of your opponent's support moves. While hard Trick Room teams don't usually need a fast mode, the Swords Dance setup combined with Terra and Defiant allow King Gambit to nuke faster opponents to Sucker Punch outside of Trick Room if need be. With how bulky threats like Raging Boltar, I decided to go for Dreadplate to maximize the damage we're pushing out regardless of whether or not we Terra. All in all, this team is a blast to play, and is one of my most signature Progotog creations. This is the first team I've featured on the channel since my Glastrier team that I've performed well with in large tournaments, and I can see a variation of this becoming my main Regulation F team for sure. With all that being said, let's get to some games. Okay, so we've got Cobalion based, not Cobalion, I straight faced said Cobalion, Iron Crown based fast Psyspam team. Great for the first game of the video based on the thumbnail. I haven't really had a whole lot of problem with either of these. I'm pretty sure he's going to go for like the Iron Crown and DD lead, Chew in the back. Rillaboom doesn't really bother us either. I think we're good to just start this way, get up our Trick Room and go to town. I'm not overly concerned of a whole lot of the stuff on his team. I think we can just sort of clean through this. Maybe King Gambit in the back over Gallade. Should be completely fine. Because Armarouge resists both Tachyon Cutter and Expanding Force out of the opposing Iron Crown. And if he doesn't have like the Terra Water, Terra Blast, or even if he does, well, we're going to probably click Follow Me within DD anyway. But if he has like Terra Ground, it puts us in a perfectly fine spot. Okay, so we got the Lando Chi-Yu lead. I am expecting Rock Slider U-turn out of Lando, and probably Snarl or Dark Pulse out of Chi-Yu. I'm going to take a slightly gambly approach with this game, and I think we're going to Meteor Beam the Chi-Yu, and we're going to Terra Fairy Trick Room on a DD. Now, the reason for this is that unless he's got like Terra Fire Overheat, or we get Rock Slide flinched, Trick Room is going up. It would suck to lose Armarouge this turn, but this guarantees we get Trick Room up. And with those two Pokemon being what he's starting with, King Gambit can do pretty well here. Okay, so we went for Snarl. So they're probably going for a Rock Slide as well. I guess, in retrospect, maybe we should have switched for King Gambit here. But this is fine, because we still got exactly the play we were hoping for. So there's probably a Rillaboom coming out right now. Yeah, figured. But now we get to do, what follows. Which my opponent's not going to be very happy about. I stand corrected on maybe we should have switched to King Gambit. This worked out way better. Now, I don't expect this thing is going to stay in and click Snarl again. But he might because of the Fake Out. So I think there's no good reason to not switch for King Gambit in for Armarouge and Torkoal in for NDD here. We want to reset the terrain as soon as we can, and because Chi-Yu is so weak, Torkoal can basically sweep the rest of this game if we can get Psychic Terrain up so we can't get faked out. Not... Okay, so... rather than going for the Fake Out, I'm guessing he was going for Rillaboom just eats Armor Cannon. But that's fine. This is all fine. And so Chi-Yu does Snarl here, I imagine? Oh, perfect. We basically just took control of this game. Kowtow from King Gambit should clean up everything it touches. We are now relatively sure that Chi-Yu is Choice Scarf or Choice Specs locked. Probably Scarf, considering it didn't kill Armarouge with the Snarl. Kowtow should take out anything that switches in here. Heat Wave should take out anything that, like, switches in there. If one or both switch for something, if both or one switch for Lando, it should go down to, no, after the Snarl, it might survive the Heat Wave. But King Gambit's just about to clean up this entire game. It's already at +2 for the Sucker Punch. There's a Lando in the back, so we're guaranteed that King Gambit's going to get another boost. Yeah, I think this Urshifu just goes down here anyway. Okay, it's unfortunate that Chi-Yu missed the Heat Wave there, but if it is locked in the Snarl, we're still fine. If it wasn't locked, then we're less fine. Oh, it's locked into the Snarl. He's just letting this happen. So he's got a Rillaboom and a Landorus left. And we can safely bring out Armarouge. Because regardless of what he switches in here, he won't be able to fake out King Gambit. Because if he sends in Rillaboom, we'll switch. If he sends in Landorus, he can't fake out anyway. Yeah. So Landorus would definitely go down to Armor Cannon. Chi-Yu and Gorilla in that slot would go down to Kowtow. So there's no reason not to Armor Cannon Kowtow. Okay, yeah, he just wanted to end it there. That makes sense. Yeah, King Gambit and Armarouge play really well together in this regulation so far. It's been fantastic. Alright, so we've got some Sun-based Hyper Offense with probably an Assault Vest or Choice Band Metagross. I'm guessing Tornadus will have Manual Sun in case Torkoal can't come out safely with this team. Overall, I'm not super concerned with this. I think we can handle most of what they can do against us. I think bringing Ogerpon, though, for a fast mode outside of Trick Room will be helpful. Because this might be a longer game, and we might have to flip off Trick Room if he has his own Torkoal. I've seen Torkoals on these teams be, like, Eject Pack Overheat supports, as well as, like, just Eruption Choice Specs. They come in later if Trick Room is out. He might lead Torkoal, he might have Torkoal in the back expecting me to Trick Room, and then it actually has Choice Specs. I've seen it all with Torkoal on like, the not Trick Room teams. Okay, so we got Roaring Moon and Tornadus, which is almost certainly going to be Manual Sun and, like, Knockoff? Yeah, it's probably going to be, like, Knockoff. I think Follow Me Trick. The classic Follow Me Trick Room is the best option here. And then you're going to see Sunny Day or Tailwind from the Tornadus, and like Knockoff or Acrobatics from the Roaring Moon. So we won't really get to Meteor Beam as safely here as I was hope if there's like an Urshifu or something next to the Tornadus. But we'll get up Trick Room, and then even if there is a Torkoal in the back, what's it realistically going to do to me? Okay, so he expects something. I guess he really just wanted to shield Tornadus from Expanding Force, I suppose? Dart. Pulse, okay. Alright, sure bud. It's kind of intriguing, I'll admit. Okay, so I am willing to accept that that Tornadus might be sashed, and I don't know how much damage I want to take from a Dark Pulse from it, or from a knockoff from Roaring Moon. So I'm going to go for the Grass Tear and Meteor Beam, and I'm still less scared of Roaring Moon than I am of Tornadus, so we'll kowtow into Tornadus as well, hoping it doesn't have Protect. Roaring Moon might reasonably protect here, because he could be expecting Low Kick or Fairy Terra from King Gambit. I guess Dark Terra on Tornadus isn't the most unreasonable thing. I believe I've seen it earlier in Reg D and E for, like, the anti-opposing Prankster taunt. But to have the Dark Pulse to go with it is really puzzling. Okay, so no protects, but that's fine. Because this Meteor Beam should reasonably KO. And if he goes for knockoff and Armarouge, it's really not going to be doing a whole lot since it's not knocking off an item, nor is it super effective. And it was Speed Booster or Attack Booster on the Roaring Moon. We should be good here. Earthquake, okay. Surprising, I suppose. Okay, but we know we can take another one of those, and that's really important on the King Gambit, depending on what he brings out next. Because if he brings out something that Armarouge outspeeds, we want to go for Expanding Force into that slot, and like Swords Dance on King Gambit. If it's Torkoal, we probably have to click Protect. Okay, yeah, Walking Wake. So he's probably going to protect with Walking Wake, but we're going to Expanding Force just in case. We know we can take another Earthquake from Roaring Moon, so we're going to go for Swords Dance. Walking Wake can't take the Expanding Force, so it can't chip into King Gambit before we can Swords Dance. Or we'd get the Swords Dance regardless, but they can't double into King Gambit, because Walking Wake won't survive the Expanding Force unless it's Focus Sashed. So we get our Swords Dance off with no protects. And Expanding Force is, of course, not hitting any Roaring Moons today. But should take out the Walking Wake? Perfect. Assuming we're to get another Earthquake, or maybe a knockoff. Dragon Cheer, okay. That's fun. That would have been kind of scary, I suppose. Okay, and there's the Torkoal. So that thing might have Overheat, and therefore King Gambit is kind of scared of it. So we're just going to Expanding Force and Protect, because Roaring Moon's still not really doing a whole lot of Armarouge, and I'm nearly certain that that Torkoal can't hurt Armarouge unless it has Fissure. It might have Fissure. I've seen some of the support Torkoals have it. But, okay, yeah, he went for Heat Wave. We're immune to the Heat Wave. Expanding Force takes out Torkoal. And he goes for the knockoff Armarouge, which, yeah, isn't doing a whole lot of damage. Now, I think there's actually a decent reason to Swords Dance here. So we can take it out with a Kowtow. Okay, no, he just cancels. I thought Armor Hannah might KO if he doesn't Protect, but it's possible he didn't have Protect. Okay, so we got a very balancy team with a Cresselia, or Shifu, probably Rapid Strike. We got like the triple 3 Fire, Water, Grass right there. With Flutter Mane and Stretching Neck. I see no good reason why we can't lead. Actually, this feels like a King Gambit lead. I feel like we can lead King Gambit with Armarouge in the back, and Torkoal feels like a downside here with the Raging Bolt and the Flutter Mane. Seems like a rare King Gambit lead game, because he might lead Incineroar, not expecting the King Gambit lead. And I know the Armarouge is pretty particularly there for Incineroar, but if he leads something like Incineroar Cresselia, the King Gambit value goes up ridiculously. He left the Incineroar. Now, DD might not be able to take Flare Blitz plus like Moonblast if he goes for that. But if he goes for Knockoff or like Flare Blitz into King Gambit, we're probably fine. So I think Protect plus Trick Room is pretty safe here. I don't know if he's gonna be overly scared of Indeedee or overly scared of King Gambit. See, he just switches out the Flutter Mane, so we're fine. Just goes right for the early lead Rillaboom, which makes some sense, I guess. Attack on the King Gambit. Knock off on King Gambit, not the play I was expecting. So we're gonna expect a Fake Out and like a Flare Blitz, I believe, or like a starting, or like maybe a Parting Shot. So I think Kowtow is the highest value play if he doesn't go for the Fake Out, and he might not play around it expecting me to play around Fake Out. He's almost certainly not going to Flare Blitz or knock off that slot. but I think we'd rather take a Flare Blitz with Delayed than a knockoff with Armarouge. Just barely. Because losing Meteor Beam would kind of suck right now. Okay, see, he didn't go for the fake out. This is exactly why we play this way. We put ourselves into a position where we don't mind if we get faked out, but we have this incredible value if we don't. Ooh, crit on the knockoff, but that was the better play for sure. We wouldn't want an Armarouge to take all that damage and possibly get O-code, or lose the power herb if it survives. Fluttermane may very well have Protect. If it doesn't, it dies even if Fairy Terras. Incineroar should not be able to survive a Sacred Sword, so he probably has to switch out here. So he goes for the Terra Fairy. I believe at +1 with the Dark Terra, we're fine. I think this KOs it still. Oh, guess not. A Dazzling Gleam would now very much hurt here. Can I didn't survive it? Probably not. That's okay. We take out the Root Moon, we take out the Incineroar, and we have Trick Room up. We're about to have Terrain up. If that thing is Sash or Specs, it doesn't really matter. We're in a pretty excellent spot. If his last Pokemon is Urshifu, then Expanding Force just ends the game. If it's Raging Bolt, you have to work slightly more for it. Electro Fury, I'm guessing that's Raging Bolt. Yeah. So, with what we have left, I'm going to play around that thing clicking Protect, and Fluttermane not. And we're just going to go for some chip damage. Actually, we'll just, yeah, we'll Meteor Beam Fluttermane, and we'll follow me with DD, in case he's going for the Dragon Pulse. If Fluttermane has Protect, it won't really matter, because we still get our Medium Beam boost. Yeah, okay. Now, usually Raging Bolt. I used to call this thing Raging Crown a lot, because I kept confusing the Iron Crown and Raging Bolt. But Raging Bolt is usually bulky enough to survive the Expanding Force, even at +1, if it's a double battle and it has like a partner alive still. But if this is Assault Vest Raging Bolt, oh, it's Combined Raging Bolt. So he probably Trick Rooms here. Or so he probably Protects here. So we can do the double Trick Room flip. And we just have to pray. Oh, he just goes to the Calm Mind instead. That's pretty scary. But I think we'll be fine. I'm assuming all he has those two attacks, Dragon Pulse and Thunderclap. So we're gonna start going like follow me Expanding Force, because I believe 2 Expanding Forces taken out. And this way it should be able to take out Armarouge before Trick Room's done. That's close. Okay. Dude's just stacking Calm Mind boosts. One more turn of Train, but 3 more turns of Trick Room. 2 more turns of Train. I'm not quite comfortable going for the helping hand on this turn, but I think I will on the following turn. Will follow me again. Yes, he will effect. Yeah, it seems pretty scary. I think we have to helping hand here, because I don't know if we survive. I don't know if we can survive this otherwise. We need this to KO. Oh, great. That's awesome. Okay, after 3 Calm Minds, I genuinely wasn't sure. Oh, that was good stuff. That was a great game. Okay, so we got some sort of like snow balance team. Probably an Aurora Veil on the Obama Snow. Not really sure what else the snow is for there. Maybe an Ice Terra on something. Does Flutter main Laird Blizzard? I don't think so. This seems like a kind of weird game where we don't really need to lead with the Trick Room threats. I think we actually want to go like King Gambit. Actually, we want to bring Armarouge, but not for like Trick Room reasons. We'll bring Armarouge and King Gambit. Indeedee in the back if Fake Out's a problem for an Iron Hands. And I like the idea of having the weather control here, so we'll bring Torkoal. The idea is that King Gambit and Armarouge handles most leads of this team. He might lead like Lando and Cresselia, or like Lando and Hands. If he leaves Lando Hands, we switch Indeedee for the Trick. We switch in Indeedee for the Psychic Terrain. But this feels like a really clean King Gambit lead game. This was exactly the lead I was hoping for when I said this is how I wanted to lead. So, we're just going to take out that Landorus and Let's It Hard switches, and we're going to expect Cresselia to use its own Trick Room. So we're going to Meteor Beam Cresselia to get off the boost for free. And I'm almost certain Landorus is going to attack. Well, I'm not almost certain. Now I'm certain it's going to attack because we didn't get to the Terra. We got to the Terra phase of the turn. Unless he's got Protect or isn't a Scarf Lando, which I'd be shocked. It should not survive this Sucker Punch. Wow. He really wanted that Rock Slide to do something. Sorry, buddy. So now we get some free chip damage on the Caress, we get our boost on the Armarouge, and if Iron Hands comes out next, we probably send it in Indeedee. If it's a Bombasno, probably Torkoal. Heatran. Okay, well, I bet the Heatran's gonna like Earth Power or Armarouge or like Terra Fairy do something. So I guess like Expanding Force plus Kowtow into Heatran is fine. Because he's Terra Fairy or Terra, like, it's gotta be Terra Fairy. He'll survive the Kowtow. If I just Kowtow, he'd survive a Sucker. But I don't think he can OHKO both King Gambit and Armarouge this turn. He can KO one or the other with a Helping Hand. Oh. Jeez, that stings. Oh, but we live! Now let's see how fast Crest is, or if he's going for the, is he going... Oh, he expected me to Trick Room. So he was turning off my Trick Room. That's fantastic. Okay. That's pretty clean. Now, Heatran might be slower than Armarouge and might be faster under Trick Room. So we're going to Sucker Punch the Heatran with King Gambit, just in case, and we're going to Armor Cannon Cresselia. which should take it out. I don't trust the possibility of Heatran outrunning Armarouge and killing, because I was originally going to Kowtow Cresselia, but I don't like the idea of going to Kowtow Cresselia, then Heatran kills Armarouge. With like an Earth Power crit, or like Helping Hand to Earth Power. Yeah, so it's a pretty slow Cresselia. It's slower than my Armarouge, but that's normally not a concern. Now we get the free switch to Indeedee, and whatever the next turn is will be Expanding Force Overkill. I love when I play Trick Room Beavers of any kind, and I get to outplay the Who's Setting Trick Room game. It's probably one of the most satisfying things you can do in a Trick Room Mirror, is tricking your opponent into setting up Trick Room for you, when it's beneficial for you more than them. Alright, I don't even need to follow me here, because Iron Hands can't OHKO Armarouge. We can just go for the Helping Hand Expanding Force, and there's pretty much nothing he can do. Even with the Assault Vest, it's not surviving that after the +1. Yeah, I figured. Alright, Armarouge and King Gambit tear it up again. Alright, we've got a Thunderous Therian, which has potential to be horrifying. Delphox, Tornadus, Primarina, Urshifu, which might not be Rapid Strike with the Primarina on the team, but there's definitely some sort of rain team. This feels like a field day for Ogerpon, though. Yeah, this seems like an Armarouge and Indeedee in the back, delayed in the back, Ogerpon kind of team. Indeedee Ogerpon should start the game pretty okay. Okay, so this should be a pretty clean turn to set up Trick Room. I imagine Rillaboom's going to U-turn, since it can't Fake Out. Maybe he'll like Tailwind U-turn. The Ivy Cudgel should take out Tornadus no problem unless it Terras or has a Focus Sash. Should be clean to get up Trick Room. Yeah, so we go for the Rain Dance. Yes, he's doing his job while he's still alive. Very relevant critical hit. Okay, so that's either a Scarf Shifu or a Mystic Water Shifu. Either way, we're not super concerned with it. And if it's Scarf Shifu, we're actually in a better spot. So we're just going to follow me, because Rillaboom won't matter for the rest of this game. If he resets terrain, it'll be fine. Okay, so it's Mystic Water. Okay, that's fine. So what else comes out? Delphox, okay. I think I am fine with this stuff. I think I'm fine with Ogerpon going down this turn. So I guess we power up the Urshifu. And now that we see the Delphox, I think we actually kind of want to switch out Armarouge. This could be risky if he's going for the Surging Strikes into Indeedee. But Something tells me he's not. Oh, that's fine. I guess he's resetting Trick Room here. He's expecting to switch. That's okay. Oh, Solar Beam. Oh, I guess he expected me to have Torkoal in the back. It's wild. No, oh, no, he's got a Power Herb for Solar Beam. Okay. Sure. Oh! Magician! You know what? That's hilarious. Okay. I like that. I think we just reset the terrain here in Expanding Force. That was interesting. I had never considered using Magician Power Herb before. I don't think it's very good. If it could learn Meteor Beam, maybe. But that was really funny. Because in my head I was thinking, oh, I'm just gonna Meteor Beam next turn. But okay. Okay, good. We took out the Rillaboom, so now we can't reset Terrain. Now, depending on what other attacks I have, Delphos really can't do a whole lot for Armarouge, can it? It gets off another Solar Beam. And it goes to an DD, I guess. But now he can't steal another item. That was cute. That was funny. If that thing can learn, if something with Magician can learn Meteor Beam, and like that'd be really cute. Like steal, like imagine getting a boost from Meteor Beam and then stealing a Choice Specs. There's one more turn to Trick Room, so they're probably gonna double protect or at least single protect on Urshifu. Delphox I don't think can kill either of these Pokemon, so I see the only reason not to double Trick Room here. Okay, Dazzling Gleam. That shouldn't KO, yeah. Steal my clear end, but you're killing me here. This is too funny. Okay, so the rain is gone, and now we kind of just clean sweep. Psycho Cut into the Delphox, Expanding Force into the pair. This should take out both. He might have a defensive Terra, but I don't know if that saves him. If he goes Terra Water on Urshifu, it could potentially buy him one turn. If Psycho Cut doesn't one-shot the Delphox. Okay, so he's going for the defensive Terra of some kind. Water Terra Urshifu? Yeah. So this might survive this, he might have one more turn alive, but what's he do getting after that turn? Yeah. So Urshifu could live this. Nope, didn't matter. There we go, easy game. Didn't really get to demonstrate Meteor Beam Armarouge much because we got our Power Herb literally stolen, but that was pretty cool. I've never seen a Delphox in the ladder yet, and it's been legal since like July. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for the game, Tyler. So that's the team. Originally, I planned to use footage from the Fright Night tour for this video instead of ladder games, but I was having difficulty adding good post-commentary. I'll be uploading those games separately later on. Thank you so much for watching. If there's a particular idea you'd like to see me use for a team on the channel, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.